and welcome to the 16th episode of In the Know Women Show. Once again, I'll be behind the camera today as LaShonda Jones will take the job of host. She and I served together in the same unit before I retired in 2023. Since then, she and I have participated in the TV productions together here at TC Media and have also worked together on short films she and I both have written. Shawn is also an actress and has been casted in films here and in Seattle. I'm proud to call her an uplifting, creative friend besides a trusted military battle buddy. Now, before I have to drop and do push-ups for holding up the mission, I'll pass the host's baton to Shawn. Enjoy.
3, 2, 1.
My name's LaShonda, and I would like to welcome our special guest, Councilmember Angela Jefferson. So excited to hear about all the great things that you have going on, but before we jump right into it, let's find out about your new year. How was it?
Whew. My new year started off with a bang. Well, actually in Army speak, with a big artillery mortar round just dropping on our position. So just a huge explosion of differences from the last administration to this administration. It's, and you can feel it.
Yes.
Our constituents can just feel the difference. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of apprehension with some segments of our community, our Black and brown folks, our LGBTQIA plus folks, our transgender folks. I'm getting calls and I'm making phone calls to those vulnerable individuals. And I'm saying, with the great leadership that we have here in Thurston County, I want you to have no fear.
Yes, yes.
We are here. We're supporting you. We have signed proclamations and resolutions to say that this county, these 3 cities, are against hate and for civil rights.
Yes.
So,
I'm so glad you brought that up, because some of our viewers may be aware of your background in your civilian and military roles. But for those who aren't, can you elaborate a little further about your history?
yes, I will, just for you. I don't like speaking about myself because I'm that quiet professional behind the role. But a little bit about me. I'm an immigrant, born and raised in Belize, Central America, where life is simple in Belize. Life is hard in Belize. You worry about what you're going to eat for dinner because we take it one day at a time. Small town, small community, 2 schools, religious schools, and it's a tough way of life. So I made my way to New York, adopted, and I joined the Army at a young age, determined to make my way in this world. Education was important to my dad because he lacked education, so he instilled in me, Angela, get your education. So after I graduated from basic training, became a soldier, the first thing I wanted to do was to go to college, start my college on active duty. I did that, earned my bachelor's degree at my 13th year in the Army, and I was selected to attend Officer Candidate School, where I continued to serve as a commissioned officer, which is a rare achievement for any soldier to go from the rank of private E1 to senior enlisted E7 to 04 senior commissioned officer. So, determination.
Yes, I myself am currently in the military, so I can truly attest to that. That is extremely, rare, and it's difficult, coming from enlisted
Yes.
to the officer's side. But, I'm so glad that you spoke about that, and you spoke earlier about, what happened with your new year and things you were doing on your civil servant side.
Yeah.
So tell us, what exciting projects are you currently diving into right now in your professional career?
Well, what the Army taught us is leadership. We went to school for leadership. We know communication, and we know how to work with others.
Yes.
So me, being a senior executive, knowing this is what I went to school for, made the determination that, I need to start talking to my senior executives, partners in the nonprofit and in government, because it's going to take a team to make this community safe.
Yes.
So organizations like the YWCA, where I'm a board member, I'm talking to the YMCA, I'm talking to the League of Women Voters. These are just institutional places that have been here for over 100 years.
Wow.
So it's all about teamwork,
Yes, yes.
bringing others along to say, we got to make Thurston County better, and we got to stand up for these vulnerable individuals.
Wow.
And that's what I'm doing.
Now, as a city council member, I know is the term of those particular offices, are they anywhere from 2 to 4 years, or how does that work exactly?
Well, they're 4 years, but for me, I was appointed in 2021 in the middle of COVID, and I had to make a decision. They wanted to know before they appointed me, hey, this is just temporary for about 8 months. Are you willing to run again come November? And I was like, absolutely, I'm going to run again. So I served a couple of months, and I had to run, which I did that. But the thing is, it was just 2 years. It
Wow.
wasn't the 4 years, because I had to serve out the other individual's term. So I ran
Right.
for 2 years, unopposed.
Okay.
I was elected, and then when I was done with that, I ran again for my next 4 years last year, unopposed, and I was elected for the second time.
Awesome.
So-
See, that is so awesome.
Thank you.
So now, for the viewers that aren't aware of your current position that you're filling as a council member, could you tell us what position that is right now?
Okay, one is, well, I used to be on public health and safety. And with the public health and safety, you're working with the police, and you're working with fire, and you're mostly doing work for the health and the wellness of the community.
Okay.
So I always want to know what's going on in the city in itself.
Right.
So after a while, I asked the mayor, hey mayor, I would like to serve on the Public Works Committee. So with the Public Works Committee, you have your sewer and you have your water services. So all of those deliveries that you see, those trucks when they're out,
Yeah.
around the city,
Yes.
that's what Public Works is. So, and I'm learning Public Works now. I'm also on the Experience Olympia and Beyond
Wow. Okay.
Visitors Convention Bureau. So, just learning how we can bring tourism, how we can bring the money into our community, because that's how we pay our bills.
Yes, we definitely need that.
Yeah, so when they're staying at the hotels, we have to negotiate fees and just how we can make this community more vibrant. We have a beautiful waterfront down there. So we have a plan where, okay, how are we going to make this waterfront better? And again, it's about teamwork,
Yes.
because you have to work with all these different governments from Lacey, from Olympia.
Yes.
Because we all have skin in the game.
Yes.
Right? And from the county.
Right.
We all got to talk
Yes.
and
gotta
make
communicate.
decisions on how we're going to bring funding and visitors,
To the area.
heads and
Yes.
beds in Thurston County. So
Wow.
I really, really like that
Well, that's-
committee.
That sounds so exciting, and I mean, just hearing you talk about it gets me excited. So I can't wait to see how you guys come to a decision on that and what the area is going to look like in the future. So I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah.
Now, with you having the opportunity and the experience to serve in multiple positions within the city council, do you think you would want to run again in the future?
Absolutely. And I want to run because my voice is unique.
Yes.
Because of that intersectionality. I'm a woman.
Yes.
I'm an immigrant.
Right.
I'm military. I'm an Army mom. Well, former military. I'm an Army mom. So when it comes to decision making, you always want to have differences.
Yes.
You know, so when we debate an issue and something comes up about shared housing, for example, we have shared housing in Germany, communal living in Germany, which is rare here in the U.S.
Right.
Everyone wants their own kitchen and their own space.
Yes.
So when it comes to city planning, guess what? We are running out of space.
Oh, wow.
And housing is expensive.
That it is.
So how can we bring families together in a communal living? You know, they can save money. They can have
Yes.
one kitchen. So just having that experience of knowing how life is in Korea and Germany, I can say, hey, you know, plans manager, let's think about this. Or what about thinking about more apartment buildings? Because
Yes.
we have to build up. And
Yes.
guess what? You have to have park space. You have to have open door space. So when I lived in a city, we have park space on the rooftops. So what about thinking about building on the rooftops? So
Yes.
just having a different perspective, a different life experience, I believe just makes you a better council because you're not hearing the same voices and the same experiences. So that's what I want to bring and continue to give the city of Tumwater.
You know, I think that's a great way to look at that because you bring a lot of diversity and you have that firsthand knowledge with the experience of living abroad and having the opportunity to experience various cultures. So you can bring that to the table, like you said earlier about the communal living and actually have that knowledge on how to implement it, how beneficial it could be for our area. So, I mean, wow, that's a great tool to have as a council member. So I'm very excited to hear that you would be interested in running again.
Thank you. And to elaborate on that, I remember when I was getting interviewed for the city council position to be appointed, one of the questions were, what are you going to bring to Tumwater? You know, so I gave that spiel and they were like, you know what? I'm going to vote for Angela because she brings a different perspective and she can think of different ways that we can problem solve. So
Yes.
I think that they were happy with that.
Yes, yes. Well, I know you talked a little bit about, you know, your childhood and your military background, and with you having such a diverse experience throughout your life, was there any type of influencers in your early childhood that made you choose the career paths that you've currently chosen?
Yes. And I can honestly say poverty and the lack of access just makes you a stronger individual because you're more determined. You
Yes.
know, when I went to basic training, I wasn't gonna fail. I was gonna do my best because they weren't gonna send me home. When I went to officer candidate school, the toughest course in my Army career, 9 months long, and I was an older soldier. So
Wow. Yes.
I think I was 32 at that time. And then I was dealing with young enlisted soldiers, you know, staff sergeants, and these staff sergeants would just torment this E7, poor me. So I was getting it from everywhere. I'm just like, man, do I really want to do this? Because there's a huge possibility that I will make E8 and I will make E9. So why are you doing this to yourself, Angela? Right?
Right.
But that determination, that fear of failure, I said, you're not going back home to Fort Drum. You will pass this course.
Yes.
And even with a toenail that was, my toenail came off because
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't used to running in boots.
I was going to say, I know that was difficult.
But I could not go see the medical providers. I couldn't go to sick call.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
if I went to sick call,
They would have sent you
they
home.
would have sent me back. I would have had to be recycled. And so
Start over again.
Start over again. So what I did was I did my own first aid. I pulled that toenail off.
Oh my goodness.
And I hobbled everywhere I went. And those staff sergeants were just like, are you going to go to sick call today? Candidate Jefferson, no, I am not. I'm good.
That's right. You weren't going to let them break you.
That's right.
That's right.
so just that childhood, that mentality is just like, you're not going to fail. You're going to do this for you. You're going to
Yes.
do this for those family members at home who didn't have the opportunity to do this. So just
Wow.
that mental toughness, the lack of failure.
Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
sharing that with us. Now, as a mentor, what advice would you give someone that may be considering to pursue the same paths that you've taken?
I would say use your voice, especially for someone who's thinking about entering politics. You have a unique voice, you have a unique experience, and everyone can become a good leader
Yes.
with just having the empathy. And you'll have to study a little bit, about leadership. But you can become a good leader. Your voice is unique, your experiences are different, and if you're good with communication, you can talk to people. And this is the thing about civilian leadership versus military leadership.
Okay.
And this is what I like, because in the military, it's that top-down leadership.
Yes.
You will do what I say because my commander said you will do what I say. So it rolls downhill. Okay, team, this is the way we're going to accomplish this mission, right? Because you are told that.
Right.
But as a civilian, and in this capacity, you have to bring people along. So let's say I have an initiative or I have a great idea. Hey, I'm thinking about this community garden here. I got to bring my other council members along. Hey, council member, because we got to get funding, we got to get money. Hey, Lisa, or hey, Gary, hey, David, I'm thinking about this project for the community garden. Will you come along with me? Sure, Angela, but this is what I need you to do for me, right? So, okay, I can support you with that. And it's like, hey, Mayor, I'm thinking about a community garden. Can you come along with me? Let's survey it. Because then again, I got to get that money, so the mayor's got to be on board.
Right.
So me and the mayor, we're off to check out this space for the community garden. We're meeting with the church. So we all got to make this, you got to bring them along to make this decision together.
Right.
And that's what I like. And it's still leadership, but it's just that inclusive style of leadership. Instead of that top-down leadership, you must do it.
Right.
So that's a difference when it comes to decision-making, civilian style. We do it together.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. So now I'm not sure if you're aware, but here on the show, we do, talk professional. We do like to educate our viewers as much as possible, but we also like to sip a little tea
Okay.
and have some girl talk.
All right, let's
So
do that.
you have to spill some tea, my friend, and tell me what exhilarating ventures are you working on right now in your personal life?
In my personal life, well, it's kind of my personal and my professional life.
Okay.
And it's personal because I was at a leadership meeting with our high schoolers in Tumwater. And, I came and I started discussing leadership at the city level. And I talked about a Tumwater youth council along with my fellow councilmen. We were like, we need a youth council. So I figured, okay, I'm going to go to this leadership conference with them, and I'm going to talk to them about, hey, why don't you come and volunteer? We never have enough volunteers at City Hall, right? So it's like, why don't you come and volunteer with us at City Hall? And guess what? This will help you prepare for college, because then you can find out what's going on in the police department, and then you can find out what's going on in the fire department, and then you can find out what's going on in the admin. So I painted this beautiful picture, right? So now the kids are like, we want this.
Wow.
And we want this now. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. We need funding. And I was quoted, it's going to be almost a $200,000 project for this. And in city government, you can't do it now, right?
Right.
So now I'm thinking, okay, these kids don't know yet, but me and them, we're going to work together.
Yes.
They're going to come up with the plans, and somehow they're going to convince the city council and the mayor why they want this youth council, right? So now I'm going to work with them. They're going to be briefing me, and I'm going to say, okay, this is our plan. So
Get them while they're young.
that's right. You got to want this. And I was so impressed because they actually showed up at our city council meeting a month ago. They were like, we are here. We are engaged. And I'm just like, a bunch of teenagers
Wow.
came to a city council meeting that's 2 hours long. I'm just like, I'm not going to let them now. We're going to make this happen.
See,
So,
you're making, look,
we're gonna make
you're
it
leaving your
happen.
mark already.
We're going to make it happen.
I'm so glad you shared that story with us, because this brings me to my next question. How is it, or how do you manage juggling both your political aspirations with your personal life? How do you manage both?
Well, to me, when you enjoy doing something so much, you don't call it work. So when I'm out in community, knowing that I'm making a difference, and if someone calls me with an issue and I can help them resolve that issue, that's not work for me. Me going to the high school and meeting with those kids and give them a mission, it's going to be Operation
Yes.
Tumwater Youth Council.
Okay.
And we're going to make it happen, youth. So that to me is just what I enjoy doing, because again, it's leadership.
Yes.
So we've got this leadership team about to create this product to have this youth leadership council at the city level, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
They just don't know how much work they're going to be doing. But then from now until, December, we're just going to have a timeline. Okay, how is this going to go? Of course, the superintendent has to be on board. So how are you going to convince the superintendent? And guess what? Next year, when we do have that funding, you're going to brief this, right?
Wow.
You're going to brief this to the city council. I'm not going to brief this. But of course, I'm going to be there with them to
Yes.
teach them briefing skills
Right.
and, communication skills and review those slides with them. So I like that.
I know, that sounds so awesome. I mean, it has me going back to when I was in school and we had our government class, and I'm wondering, when they're assisting you with this particular project, how does that work with their school courses? Will they be getting credit for it?
Absolutely. That's CTE.
Wow.
So the CTE manager who manages those courses, we have plans for that too. And again, that's going to be in the briefing because that's what they're getting out of it. So that's convincing us, the adults, right? Those at
Yes.
City Hall. So once we see that you're getting college credits for this,
Wow.
and another great thing is right now we're hiring for police officers and we're hiring for firefighters from all across the United States. How good is it going to be when we can mentor some of these high school students so that all they have to do is go to the police academy and you got a job with the city?
Yes.
How amazing is that?
I know, that is so amazing. And then on top of that, you're already molding and shaping possible politicians at an early age.
Yes.
I mean, these could be our upcoming city council members
Yes.
right here in Thurston County.
That's it. Win-win,
I
right?
know, right? Wow, that is so awesome. I'm so glad that you are just making such a difference in the community right now. But I want to know, like, when you're not in the roles of city council member Angela Jefferson, and when you're not Mrs. Jefferson, what does Angela like to do for fun and relaxation?
What I'm doing is, as I age, because I'm about to be 60.
Oh my gosh, you look great.
Thank you. Thank you. So as I age, I'm finding out that I can't eat the way that I used to, right? I can't eat that 8-ounce steak and
that
potatoes,
metabolism
right?
slows down.
Right? With the butter and the
Yes.
gravy. So now I'm learning how to cook more healthier, to
Okay.
eat cleaner, to be around to continue mentoring the kids. And I also work out a lot.
Yes.
It used to be trail running, back in my younger days. But, as the body falls apart,
Yes.
as we get those arthritic limbs, right?
And don't forget, we have that army body.
That's right. So as these knees start to slow down, so I'm walking more,
Okay.
and I'm working out for that longevity because I want to be here as long as I can. And to be
Yes.
able to drive and just to be able to have a great quality of life.
Oh,
So
yes.
I'm more focused on that in my off-duty
Great.
time.
So, reflecting back over your entire life, if given the chance, is there anything you would change?
Yes. I would have gotten my degree a lot earlier and went the career officer route longer, because since I waited so long, as an enlisted soldier, just to make that decision, and then I only served 10 years in that senior executive level
Okay.
in the Army. So, and another 5 years, 10 years would have been great, but I probably would have went commissioned officer a lot sooner because it taught me a lot. Yeah, OCS made me, a tough, smart woman.
Yes, I can relate to that 100%. I myself, too, came in my 30s. So,
It's
and I
harder.
actually had my degree when I came in, but I had a knee injury, so that knocked out my chances for going to OCS. But, I mean, just hearing about your wonderful and impressive career, both civilian and military, I'm excited for our community, and I just can't wait to see what you have planned for us in the future.
I will be right here. Right here.
Well, before we go, is there anything you would like to say to our viewers?
There's some words that I'd like to share with the community, especially at this time when there's so much turmoil in our society.
Yes.
Just And I wrote this article for the League of Women Voters, who they're nonpartisan.
Okay.
And they just care about our democracy. So me, as a civics leader, as a council member, all of us, it doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat, and by the way, my position is nonpartisan. I look out, don't claim Republican or Democrat. But we all see that there's some turmoil in the populace right now.
Yes, it is.
People are afraid. People are apprehensive. Some people are angry. Some people are sad. And some people are happy. So I just have a few words that I would like people to hear, to let them know that there's some things that you can do and we're going to be okay. Is that all right?
Yes, please share those.
So, democracy thrives when people actively participate in shaping their communities. In today's climate, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed with negative emotions. Remember, democracy is resilient, most resilient, when citizens and organizations work together in partnership to defend and protect it. The League of Women Voters of Thurston County encourages you to take action because your voice and efforts in community matters. Here are some ways you can make a difference. It's going to be about 3 more minutes.
Oh, you're fine.
Partner with nonprofits and advocacy groups. Some of them are the League of Women Voters, the NAACP of Thurston County, and Olympia Indivisible. Also, the ACLU. You can actively or passively engage with these groups by volunteering, donating money, donating time, or simply spreading awareness about their work through your network of friends and family. Collaborate with local governments. Your local governments, your local city council, play a crucial role in upholding our democratic principles. You can attend city council and county commissioner meetings to stay informed. Advocate for policies that enhance voter access. Building relationships with local leaders can lead to meaningful changes that strengthen democracy at the community level. Also, combat misinformation and promote fact-based discourse. Misinformation is one of the biggest threats to democracy today. You can help by sharing credible, fact-checked information about elections and policy issues, encouraging respectful discussions that bridge political divide. A well-informed electorate is the backbone of a healthy democracy. Your voice can make a difference. Democracy works when we all participate.
Yes. Before we go, I would like to say a special thank you to Darlene and the crew for allowing me this wonderful opportunity to be your special guest. Thank you so much, and until next time, everyone be safe.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Darlene. Thank you, team.
I want to thank our guest host, LaShonda Jones, my battle buddy, as well as Angela Jefferson for her service to our country too, and to our community. And thank you all for tuning into this inspiring and informative episode.